Coming up on Mountain News this morning, tariffs are around the corner and they could soon spell some trouble for the Commonwealth. And a community is remembering a beloved member who helped spread kindness through the Christian Appalachian Project.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and happy Monday, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee. On this Monday, February 3rd, is the second month of the year now, and the time is 5 o'clock. It's also time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmel for a look at the forecast this morning. And Megan, I know when I walked out, I was pleasantly surprised because it wasn't that cold. I just went out with a cardigan and some pants on, and I felt perfectly fine.
Yes, we're really enjoying the warmer weather, and that'll continue as we're heading into the afternoon. So there's some good news as you're starting to get dressed for today that you need to prepare for. But one thing I want you to be prepared for before you head out, if you're nearing the rivers in these counties lit up, you might have to be aware of the flood advisory. Now, this will be expiring as we're heading into today, but it's just something to be on your radar if you are interacting with that Kentucky River near Ravenna, as well as the elevated stream flow around these rivers. Just something to be cautious about. Now, let's take a look at those temperatures because, as Amelia said, it's definitely on the warmer side of things. We are looking in the 40s for most of the area, seeing some 30s as you're traveling towards London, Manchester, and Jonesville. But even then, not too bad to start off your day. Heading into the afternoon, here are your temperatures looking in the upper 60s. So definitely on the warmer side of things. We do have some fog in the area, but for the most part, looking nice and clear. As you're heading more to the north, that's when you could be interacting with some of the patches of fog. But overall, not too bad. Satellite and radar is also looking clear. Clouds moving in and out. No chance for rain. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. While experts say Kentucky is especially vulnerable to President Trump's tariffs, Jason Bailey with Kentucky Policy tells us the Commonwealth is the 6th largest share of imports from Mexico, Canada, and China. Maggie Rickerby explains how the tariffs could impact Kentuckians in the short term.
In the short term, tariffs are guaranteed to increase the prices on American consumers if they go into effect.
Jason Bailey with Kentucky Policy says the Commonwealth imports things like car parts, vegetables, and other consumer goods. And with increased tariffs on these items, companies and consumers would have to pay more in the short term.
Both the companies that buy those things and the consumers are going to have to be paying more. That can affect the competitiveness of those companies and obviously the pocketbooks of the families that may have to pay more next time they go to the grocery store or make a purchase.
But it's not just imported items that could pose issues. Bailey says if other countries push back and place tariffs on the U.S., it could impact Kentucky-made goods sold to other countries, including bourbon. There's also the potential for Kentuckians to lose their jobs.
If it becomes more expensive to sell Kentucky goods around the world, then consumers are going to buy fewer Kentucky goods. That's going to hamper the businesses that sell in those countries and can impact jobs.
University of Kentucky political science professor Dr. Stephen Voss tells us the proposed tariffs bring a lot of uncertainty for all countries involved.
You don't really know who's eventually going to rise up on top. What you do know is that until things settle out based on the new tax structure, you're going to have a lot of chaos.
Voss says once things do settle out, the long-term goal behind the tariffs is to encourage the growth of U.S.-based manufacturing. But the tariffs do not come without initial raised prices. In Lexington, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative says Kentucky exported $9.1 billion worth of goods to Canada in 2023. That's 23% of the state's total exports. People in Rowan County say they've been experiencing issues with their water since Christmas. They say it's unpredictable, with water being fine some days and dirty other days. Some days they don't even receive water at all. Now business owners say the issue is causing them to take a financial hit. Heather Breeze is a hairdresser who relies heavily on water supply. She says she expects more accountability from county officials.
If they would just tell us what they think's up, I mean, I would rather them just be honest and say, hey, we're really having an issue and we don't know how long this is going to go on. I mean, you can better prepare for that.
Representatives with water say the issue stems from water meter bottoms busting due to the cold weather, and that they're working to get the issue resolved as quickly as they can. During the weekend, officials say a woman stabbed a man in Laurel County. Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they were called around 2 o'clock Sunday night on Slate Lick Road. After arriving at the scene, officials found a man lying in the front lawn of a home suffering from a stab wound. Officials arrested Kristen Hoke and charged her with first-degree assault. The victim was flown to the UK hospital. A Jackson County woman is being remembered for her nearly 40 years of service to her community. Now, Joyce Marks' family is asking for help in carrying on her legacy. Marks was one of the first volunteers with the Christian Appalachian Project and served as volunteer director of the Jackson County Food Bank since it began in 1986. Up until her passing in January, Judge Executive Shane Gabbard says Joyce's permanent smile and kind heart both filled a void in the county.
I think that every community, no matter the size of the population, no matter what they have or don't have, everybody needs a Joyce Marks.
Now, Joyce's family works to keep the food bank open to carry on their matriarch's legacy. Thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Still to come, we'll take a look at how tariffs are affecting more than Kentucky. More changes in leadership continue at the nation's capital.
And weather remains warm today. Will you need to break out the flip-flops? Well, I'll have that answer coming up.